It's KFM 95.9, Gollywood Story today. Definitely a superstar. I mean, his latest single, if it's anything to go by, he affirms that, calls himself a star, and I'm talking about none other. Focalistic, how you doing?
Maradona.
I'm okay, thank you.
Tango.
What's been going on? Busy munna.
Zama igoli kuyona goli.
Kiyona Zamazama. So what happens when you've arrived if this is Zamazama?
I hope fihlile ke mo bana wa itse lefatshe le lotlhe, the whole world knows.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I want us to take it back a bit. Let's talk about your come up. How was your come up in the industry and how you eventually got to embrace such, I mean, they are, I say world apart, hip hop and amapiano, but they are, you know, it's what our artists do. Now we've got emergence of sounds, people merge sounds together. So it's quite nice how it's coming up that music is now just becoming music. It's no longer a specific genre. So how did your come up happen?
I think for me, my come up, growing up in Pitori, I listened to a lot of music. So it takes one if it dlala Tamiya, the next day dlala Mojava. So, I always wondered like how I would tell my genuine story. So I think when I figured out, as a trap Zegibina Zakogasi, I was still working with Major League. And I had a song with Casper in your Vest called Scuff Teen. And that was the first time I ever said as a trap Zegibina Zakogasi. So for me, that was, encapsulating my sound, which, the previous years is what I was trying to build. So once, I figured out the sound and started, performing, and I dropped the EP as a trap Zegibina Zakogasi. A lot of people started understanding, my story, how Zone 2 fits into the whole hip hop aura and the hip hop, aesthetic. So I guess that's when it clicked for me, and that's when people started, accepting who I was and, kind of like, gravitating towards it and enjoying it.
Would you say you have solidified who you are in the industry in terms of sound, in terms of what you want to talk about when it comes to music?
I would say that I'm comfortable. Yeah, I think the most important thing for me, I always say it's hard to be yourself in a world where, you're presented with so many other dope things. So I'm comfortable with being myself. I'm happy with myself. And, I'm glad that my fans, Kgomotso Maradona, have accepted me as Maradona, Pituru Maradona, King Sakrimayama, because that's the only way we'll grow.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to talk about what is your issue with Maradona. You love Maradona. Maradona is why Maradona?
It's coming from guys who play ball. So
Yeah.
what of Valley Beats or Maradona? Because they get number 10 and they got Ratata.
Udlala ball.
Neki. No, I said Dala Bolo, get Dalaga Mafuku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, is that how Maradona has been your persona then from the street too now, and that's why you always try edit into your music.
Like when you're in my street and Ugai Maradona.
Really?
Yeah.
How long Maradona?
Yeah, but that's why I had to add Pitori Maradona to
Yeah.
Focalistic, because
Yeah.
like, that name stuck with me.
Yeah. Your previous album, the one I think you dropped it last
Scoopus
year.
is excellent.
No, not Scoopus is excellent. Then it will be last year. Quarantine Tarantino. When
Oh
was that?
yeah, that's
You
last
dropped
year.
2 albums last year.
I dropped 3. Yeah.
3.
I dropped 3 projects. I haven't dropped an album yet.
Yeah. Why?
I think I'll drop the album when I know that the whole world will, is watching. For me now, it was about, solidifying the sound and showing people, where it's gonna go. And my whole thing, I always say I want to win a Grammy.
Yeah.
So, I want to win a Grammy with my first album.
It looks like it's getting closer and closer.
Thank you so much.
That
I'll
Grammy.
put that into the universe.
Yeah, listen. What I'm talking about, so those 3 projects that you dropped, why the 3 projects where you cannot put your name against any of them, call it album? Because, I mean, even Quarantine Tarantino, I think that was a very solid project. How come would you not put that, this is my album, this is my official take on the music industry?
I mean, for me, it's because of the stigma that people have put around an album. So I'm usually having fun with the music. So I don't want people, to box it like debut album, Focalistic, you know what I mean? And that's been kind of like a trick that I've been using, and it's been working. So people tend to listen to albums with like a very critical ear, like first track, but when it's a project, you're free to play around. So I've been having fun with the music. That's fun.
So tell us about that project. I mean, I'm interested to know what happened. I mean, COVID hit all of us. It happened and you put out that project. What was happening in your space? Why did you think it was important to actually put that project out?
I mean, COVID, everyone was, my real name, Lethabo. So everyone was sad. So I was like, how do I add to people's happiness? And the only way I knew is obviously music and tell my story of being quarantined but still being creative. I think it's a juxtaposition. Quarantined, you close, but you're still Tarantino. And it also plays on, my favorite film director, Quentin Tarantino.
Sure.
So, I was telling people the movie that I was living under lockdown. So, yeah.
And was it a movie? Did you adjust well?
I mean, I learned to adjust well. I think within the first week, I already had started lives. At a time when people weren't going live that much, I started going live, Maybe get Tlhatswa Dibiana, I want to wrestle PD to get Tlhatswa Dibiana. You know what I mean? So I think I adjusted quite well, and it allowed me to get so much closer to the fans. When you're performing, you're up and down. You don't get a time to take pictures with everyone else. But because I was home so much, I got to know my fans personally and understand everyone. You know what I mean? And hence why we have Squadsa Maradona, because we have that close of a relationship.
Yeah. And when you look at your music career, I mean, I touched on it when we opened this conversation. There's always a tag musicians would have. You'd be a hip hop star. You would be an R&B singer, a house DJ. There's always a tag. What was your tag when you got in, and what is the tag that you want to live by? And I'll explain once you answer why I'm asking that question.
I think for me, like it's a joke that we did. There's like a taxi driver, he saw me, said, "Hey, why not a super ghetto hero?" And for me, it was like, that's something that I want to be. I don't want to be boxed into a genre or. I do it for my hood and every other hood in the world. Because as I always say, every hood is the same. I've traveled Africa, I had the privilege, and I've noticed that, the topics take kasetso di teng mathata wa teng ona le di blessa ona le batho ba o party ya thata
di blessa mathata bathong
mathatanyana all the problems are there, and that's what I want to be. I'm the voice of the youth, the voice of the hood, and that's that.
Yeah, and the reason I asked that question is because there will always be conversation around what was deemed a rapper or what was deemed a hip-hop star when they emerge. I mean, I remember, I think 3 years ago, there was a whole rant by someone talking about selling out. How hip-hop stars sell out to a genre that is most popular. So Casper's name came up, Java's name came up, and they decided that was selling out to the genre people got to know them with. Did you feel any of that selling out? Did you catch any of those bad waves that you were selling out? Because obviously the project out now is current.
Yeah.
It's Amapiano. Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, it's like people always try and like put that on me. That's one thing I felt. And if you're out there, like, stop. Just stop. Like, I've never claimed to be. In fact, like, I can say for the first time, I retire from making hip hop. I'm not a hip hop artist. Don't box me. That's one thing that, as a was trying to stay away from. I've never said I'm, the best lyricist or I'm the most hip hop cat you find out there. Even on a song, I've never said that. So for me, as much as it's never been a struggle for myself, I think it's a struggle for people, and people are always trying to understand something that's so peculiar. Like when you find Focalistic or Jaiva so, Wapara so, but it's like, let people be free, man. We're in a new generation. It's 2021.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's private jets that are moving from here to America. Back then, people never thought that. So why can't people think of us as artists like that? Like, actually, Dimanona le wavy high, gelania high, and let's respect that. Don't try to put me in any box. I've never claimed to be Tupac. I've never claimed to be, J. Cole. I'm Focalistic, Biduru Maradona, King Sacramento. I'll never forget the sanitizer. That's
that. And I suppose that's what is important is always knowing how to treat each genre when you do dab in it. So if you are dabbing into hip hop, you need to know that this is how I treat my hip hop. If you're dabbing into a piano, you know that I can't be as verbose. I can't have too many lyrics here. I need to trim down because I'm paying homage to this genre. Yeah.
I guess for me, I'm myself on every single song. So I never had the rules in my head. And I think, my mom always used to complain, but it's something that's helped me. I don't pay attention to rules that much. I just think of how I want to do something. So even if I hop on the hip hop, I have a song with MT called Klipa, and that was one thing that he said when he got into the studio, like this is hip hop, right? But like the way you did it, it's only you who can do it like this.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I pride myself on, just being me on every single beat, no matter what it is. I could hop on electro tomorrow with Diplo. And you still have to respect it as a trap.
Yeah, and I suppose what is always important is knowing who Focalistic is. Because
definitely.
I think a lot of times when we do get bothered with the noise around us, it's because we are overthinking even who we are.
Correct.
I mean, people finding their sound. I mean, you are saying that you are comfortable in your sound or who you are as a musician, right? It takes years for a lot of people to be comfortable.
It took me years as well, I'll be
Yeah.
honest. That's what I'm saying. The first song that I said as a trap, Kiss Kaftin, and that was in 2019. So I've been rapping since I was in grade 9.
Sure.
So I only figured it out in 2019 that actually I'm more comfortable representing where I come from, Harangua Zone 2. So, and that's what opened everything for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I suppose the big song now, Kista,
Sure.
that took everything. I can imagine. I mean, even when you see it play out and you are like, I wonder when he went into studio. Yes, you were recording a hit. I don't think anybody gets into studio to try and record mediocre. I
Yeah.
hope not. You know, you get into studio, you're trying to record a hit, you're trying to record a song that resonates. But it's the resonation of it where it goes to a height that you didn't expect, where you are like, what? Did
Yeah.
that happen with me? Do you feel like that, Kakista?
So, like, crazy story, Kista, the file disappeared. So after we recorded the song, I was the only one with the USB. With
Okay,
the
you
song.
and Babes were
MP3. What I'm saying, with the MP3 and Wave.
Yeah.
So obviously at that time we're thinking like, this is a nice song, but we might not drop it because if you know DSPs like Apple Music, Spotify, you need to have certain requirements. And then the song leaked. So when it leaked, that's when I realized, hey,
So did it leak because it does the person who stole the file, or
no?
how
So
did it
obviously
leak?
I sent it to a couple of people. I don't want
Okay,
to
okay,
out them,
okay,
but
okay.
I sent it to a couple of people, and then I just found it on YouTube, and it was like on 500,000 views in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, maybe they actually like this song. And then when I dropped it, it went crazy. So for me, I think, the cliche, you don't chase it, it comes for you. So, we never chased the hit, me and Vigro. We were just like in studio vibing and doing our own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anything more that you want to do with the song right now?
I mean, we have the remix out with Davido
Yeah.
and Vigro D, but for me, it's about, my album. So I might actually,
Oh, so you are now going to drop
yeah,
an
this is my
album on
first-
La PC.
yeah, I might just drop an album this year.
Yeah.
Because, we're working on like a nice global deal, so I think it's gonna make sense to drop an album.
What are you looking for in terms of sound? I know it will resonate with Dikasi across the globe, but what are you looking for in terms of sound when it comes to this album?
I think for me, in terms of sound, baseline, Scoop. I always
Good.
say I'm
Yeah.
a strong advocate for Scoop, but there's a lot of elements of my story that I haven't spoken about on the songs. So it's gonna be quite interesting for people to hear, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't know like about my dad passing away. A lot of people don't know how I grew up and how in Midrand, people think I stayed in Midrand, but it was because I used to wake up at 4 from Harangua so I could be in Midrand Kasiksi in Midrand Primary. So I always used to lie like, yeah, man, I just live around the corner, so I'm coming early. So those type of stories, like just recording these songs that I've been doing now, they're taking me down memory lane. So I think a lot of people, it's something that to look forward to kind of get to know me and, look through the eyes of a kid, what goes on to, or Nana, or Natana Godi Sababung. And, I had to lie about, Cartoon Network. I never watched Powerpuff Girls. It's right, the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine you wouldn't watch Powerpuff Girls.
I mean,
yeah.
but I used to lie about it. Kim Possible. I said, why did the scene to this thing? John Cena, Namola.
Oh, no.
So,
Yeah.
it's gonna be nice.
And I think people will look forward to that story because that's what music is, isn't it? It's telling a story. If it's not your story, it's someone else's story. But that's exactly what music is. It's you telling your story continuously. Now, you spoke about your pops, you spoke about your moms.
Yeah.
And I know you've just mentioned now that your pops has passed away. What are they saying about you, this Maradona Wakopitori kid? What are they saying?
I think my mom is the proudest because she looks at it like, you being yourself. She always says, like, when she sees me on TV, it's crazy how, like, this is you. Like, I don't think people understand, like, this is you. So I think, getting that type of, I don't know, Rivita cosign almost.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
Affirmation,
cosign, mom.
yeah.
The affirmation from
Yeah.
your mom. I think, you can't put value on that. For me, it's so close to my heart. So she's proud.
I mean, you said that you've been doing music since, you said grade 9, hey?
Yeah.
Since grade 9. Was this always the plan, or was it fun in games? Because I think, when your story starts, I'll give my example. When I started even playing around radio, it was an inquisitive thing. I was curious. I wanted to
try it
find out.
out.
100%. It was not serious until it was serious. And I
Yeah.
woke up, I was like, whoa, this
I'm
is serious.
here.
You know what I mean? So what was that always the case for you, or you always knew that I will end up a superstar in music?
To be honest with you, I always knew, but I think the first song I ever wrote, it was because of Lil Wayne, you know.
Yeah.
So because Lil Wayne's dad passed away, I was like, yeah, Lil Wayne ke mo rata mara le nna papa ka tlhokofetse, so le nna ko ngwala pina.
Okay.
And then from there, venting, you started realizing like, hey, maybe I have a talent. And then that's when I started taking it seriously. But around like grade 10, 11, I used to tell my school teachers like, yeah, I might be smart. Because I was like top 10 in the school, even in varsity. Yeah, I got a degree, but I used to be like a golden key. Yeah, top 15%. But I always used to tell everyone like, I'm going to be a big star. Because they used to ask like, why don't you have friends on campus? Or because I was like always in the library. I used to say it's because I want to finish so I can go be a big star. So the other guy from library came to the show and he's like, you know what's crazy? It's like you used to tell me this all the time and I still don't believe it's you.
Yeah.
So for me, I think I always knew. And when God puts a vision like that so strong in you, it's like you're not chasing it, it chases you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it bit you from early on. The
Yeah, like
superstar
grade
thing,
10, 11.
it bit you from early on.
Yeah.
And what else is coming up? So you are busy with an album now. Is it like recorded, done? You just
I'm busy
mixing
working on
and
the
whatever?
album. I'm busy working on it, you know, and we'll see when to drop it. I think there's no rush right now because we just dropped the Kista remix.
Yeah.
And the music video is moving. We got 1 million views in 1 week.
Nice.
And, you know, it debuted number 8 on the global Billboard charts. So I think for me, it's like I'm just taking it as it comes, taking it easy. But we know we have some exciting things happening this year. I might drop my EP with Jazzy. That's done. Jazzy Q. And me and David are actually thinking about doing a joint EP.
Oh, nice.
So we got some interesting features on there as well. So people better look out for that.
People must look out. And you say you don't know when you're gonna drop the album.
I do, but I don't wanna, you know.
I wanna push. I gotta get it. But Focalistic, I've been working on this thing for a while to know. There is no musician who will come on air and say, yeah, I'm thinking of dropping an album, unless the album is there.
No.
You know?
I don't want to, you know what the problem is? I don't want to give a date and then, like, you know, certain things happen, you know, because there's like other plans in motion that might, you know, make me push back the album.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to speak too much.
Yeah. The global deal. Let's talk about this global deal. You've mentioned it, I think, 3 times now. So I feel like it's an itch now in my conversation. Let's talk about this global deal. What global deal are you talking about? You don't even have to mention the names of the people, but you've scratched me. No,
But the thing is, like, okay, because I think Star was top 10 in like 15 countries, the remix when it dropped.
Sure.
So a lot of labels from those countries started like, yo, can we do your publishing here? Can we do a sync deal here? Can we? So we're trying to like kind of streamline it because I've been independent, 18 area music.
Yeah.
I've been independent for the longest time. So this is my first time where I'm looking into, you know, a major.
Partnering with a major.
Yeah, partnering with the major, joint venture, and, you know, making it interesting for people in those countries because now we have a demand in UK, you have a demand in the US. So it's like, how do we, you know, make it interesting for them? The same type of content that South Africans get, how can they get it? You know, like an interview like this.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's why the major is so important. And that's why I'm saying I can't give out the date for the album because I want it to be, you know, on a global scale, impactful on a global scale.
And you know, when you're talking about collaborations, I mean, we spoke about it yesterday about African collabos that put people on the map. Would you say collaborations like that would probably be one of those defining moments in your career? Because it is important to reach international status. I don't care what anyone says. If you can say, Lona le tlhantsha ke batho ba ko Hollywood, I don't care.
Yeah.
The reality is Hollywood right now is the biggest entertainment
Sure.
stage. Why would you not want to play there?
Sure.
It doesn't make sense. So would you say that was definitely like a one of the defining moments in your career to have collabos like that?
I always say collaboration over competition. That's the only way we move forward. So definitely, Pan-African collaborations will always, you know, elevate because I sell one fan base. You know.
Sure.
So you know what I mean. Lebagaro Hafizagima American. The facts are there. You know what I mean? And even in South Africa, you can't move alone. You need collaboration. So for you to go global, you need a Pan-African, you know, collaboration. For you to go international, global, you need a global collaboration. So for me, I'll always, you know, I'm a strong advocate of that collaboration over competition.
Yeah. How do you turn down the noise? there's a lot of noise around you right now.
Yeah.
How do you turn it down and not lose Maradona wa Kopitori? You know, how do you turn down the noise if everybody around you is like, ke Focalistic, you know, how does Dingan keep you sane? You know,
Yeah.
because I think all those people that are around you must be almost like your anchors or people that
True.
you know remind you, come back.
Yeah,
You know, yeah.
I mean, for me, you know, I've always stayed grounded by, you know, having the vision of my mom and her being proud. I think because she holds such a strong position in my life, I don't want her to, you know, ever feel disappointed over something I could control.
Yeah.
And my friends at the same time. And like, Focalistic, Lethabo, like I never changed. So I think that's the only way you do it. Like the moment you start having different friends, start moving around different people, and you know, you change your whole, I don't know, natural, you're not schedule. So now I'm still the same guy. I'm still always in studio. People always know where to find me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't believe you, by the way, that you're still the same guy.
I really am the same guy.
You know, and then not because I know you before, because when life happens, things change.
Yeah.
And when life happens on a public platform, things will change. You know, I'm sure you'd like to hug more people than you hug now, specifically because you're Focalistic. You know, I'm sure you go.
Corona.
I was gonna get something like as if it's COVID, you know. But I'm sure those things change. Elements in your life change when you blow up in front of everyone.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like even that change, I try to take as much pictures as I can, because you know, for me, I always say Squadsa Maradona is like another part of me that I hold so dear to me. That's why I got to know my fans.
Yeah.
It's because Nenga's thing without them. They fought for me, you know. When I first said I said trap and I dropped the song, I felt like going under a table, because people just kept saying like, this kid is whack, this kid is boring, he's so short, you know what I mean? So I appreciate every single person who enjoys my music, because it's like we relate on that level.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't think you know, the change is that drastic. It's just I obviously can't go into a
You
mall.
have to adjust.
Yeah, it's just adjusting. I can't go to a mall. Actually, I say maybe achieve harmony. I don't like even the word balance, because that means something suffers. Like I just achieve harmony. I just know it's gonna cause drama, but if one catch a mogoloing, let's take the picture, let me find out what's your name, and you know, connect on that level.
Yeah, no, listen, we just thought we should get you in. I mean, did you ever do a house track?
No.
No, Focalistic. There's a song. Cheryl, how did I forget that song? There's a song that we used to play. Come, after this interview, I'm going to show you that song. And maybe I'm saying house and it's not that genre, but I remember a while back, and we kept talking about Focalistic then, and a couple of years back. I'll find that song. I'll find that song. Eh? As a Santini man, Santini Gays, Santini Gaulimpe like it. Eh, Santini Gays. How is that a house song?
Maybe house of that.
It's definitely not. Also, now when everybody else hears the keys, I hear house. Wow. Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry.
But I'll find the song and I'll let you know. But thank you so much for hanging out.
Thank you for the platform.
Yeah, let's see what happens. I'm really wishing you the best, and I can imagine just how much harder. I know how indies work, you know, because I know it's harder. Everything is on your shoulders. So I do hope that you get that major deal, so that you definitely can, you know, blow up properly and infiltrate as far as you possibly can reach.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic.